searched everywhere, but the little pearl-handled revolver had been stolen too. Her last chance, comma, her last hope, dash, dash, gone. Slowly the door opened. Was it the murderer's hand that turned the knob? Question mark. That's the end of that chapter. We won't start another one now, Nicky.
I might as well go to lunch then.
Oh, there's a man by that old road asking to see me at noon. I wish you'd stick around till he got here.
All right. I read his letter. Sounds to me like he wants work.
Maybe so.
Did you take a case?
Oh, I might if it sounded interesting.
It's a good idea. You've done enough sleuthing for nothing. It's about time you got paid for some of it.
I've been thinking of that, too.
Oh, you're here to see Mr. Queen.
Why, yes, that is, if he doesn't mind.
I'll tell him you're here.
Oh, that's awfully nice of you.
Your date's here, Ellery.
Oh, show me, Nicky.
Mr. Queen will see you now.
How do you do? I know that you're an extremely busy man, Mr. Queen, and I want to say at the outset that I'll only be too glad to compensate you for your time.
Well, won't you have a chair and tell me how I can help you?
I want to engage your services as a detective, Mr. Queen.
Well, I'm really a writer and not a detective. Although I'm not saying that I couldn't be tempted to investigate a case that might prove unusual.
We've tried the police, but they got nowhere. And then my wife thought of you. She's a great admirer of yours, reads all your books.
Oh, thank her for me, widow.
She said if anyone can find Flora May, Ellery Queen can. Those were her very words.
Flora May, is that your daughter, Mr. Cole?
I am helpless without Flora May. And there's so little Mrs. Crandall can do. We're so upset about Flora May because, well, we haven't any children of our own.
Well, who is Flora May and what's happened to her?
She's our Cocker Spaniel. And she disappeared the very day her babies arrived.
It was nice of you to drop in, Mr. Crandall. You don't need a detective, Mr. Crandall. What you need is a dog catcher. I said it. How do you do? Well, my name's Cole. How do you do, Mr. Cole? Won't you step into the office? Thank you. You're not interested in dogs by any chance? Oh, yes, they like me. Oh. Won't you sit down, Mr. Cole? Thanks. Very curious to hear about this mystery in which you're involved.
Well, I'm not involved myself. I wrote that letter in behalf of Mr. Alan Rogers, my employer. I happen to be his secretary.
You mean the Mr. Rogers who has his office down the hall here?
Yes, but I didn't start working for him until after he'd retired from business. He engaged me to help straighten out some of the loose ends in his affairs.
Well, why did he send you to see me?
Oh, he doesn't know anything about my coming here. I did it on my own responsibility. I thought that as a friend of his, you'd like to help him if you could.
Well, did Mr. Rogers tell you I was a friend of his?
That was my impression. He speaks of you frequently and reads all your books.
Ours was just an elevator acquaintanceship when he had his office down the hall.
Oh, in that case, I'm sorry.
No. Don't go away. As long as you're here, I'd like to know what it's all about. Will you have a drink?
Thanks, I will.
What's your story?
We're living at his place on Fawn Lake. There's a situation there that I believe is causing Mr. Rogers to lose his mind.
What makes you think so?
He's afraid to go outside after dark, locks the door of any room he goes into, and leaves every light in the house burning all night.
What's he afraid of?
Apparently of two men whom he believed dead. They showed up suddenly at his house and forced themselves on him as guests, and he hasn't been able to get rid of them.
Who are they?
I only know what Rogers told me. He said he met them years ago in the Far East when he was a pearl buyer.
Why doesn't he call the police?
The few times that I suggested it, I sort of got put in my place.
Well, what makes you think that I could help him?
I hope that you could find out what threat these men hold over him. I know that he'd confide in you and listen to your advice.
Well, maybe he would. I'll drive out there this afternoon. You know where the Rogers place is?
That's it, across the lake.
Nice day for fishing. You think they'll bite?
Going fishing?
No, not today.
And what do you care if they're biting?
I want it. Anybody here?
Yes, I'm here.
I want to rent a boat.
Well, help yourself.
How much?
$2 an hour. Put your money on the gas tank.
Mr. Rogers at home?
Calling, please.
Ellery Queen.
Mr. Rogers is not at home.
Well, then may I speak to Mr. Cole?
I'll find out if Mr. Cole is in.
You find that he is.
Will you be seated, sir?
Thank you. Hello, Mr. Queen. Terribly sorry Mr. Rogers isn't home. He left while I was away, but I'm sure he'll be back soon. Did you hear a shot a few minutes ago? Yes, the duck season's open, you know. Do I look like a duck? Why, did the shot come near you? Yes, too near. Gave my boat a fatal wound in the ribs. Well, that's no joke. I wouldn't be surprised if Bates or Corday had fired that shot. I wouldn't put it past them. Are those the two men you were talking about? Yes. They're not in? No. Let's take a look in their room. All right, follow me. Ready for a quick getaway, huh? Hey, you know, I'm afraid they're going to know somebody's been going through their belongings. I want them to. It'll worry them to know that somebody's been giving their stuff a frisking. Webley, English. Here. Take those and throw them in the lake. Okay. These two. What's this? Margot Fawcett Rogers. Marie Dubois Rogers, whose ages are 24 and 26 and were born in Manila, PI, and for PDTI, are being sought by their father, Alan Rogers of 3082 Fifth Avenue, New York, USA. Do not reply to this ad unless prepared to submit full proof of identity. I know that ad. That's the one that Rogers put in all the papers in the Far East. His daughter Margot came and answered one of them, but he's never seen or heard from Marie. That's probably how those two fellows located Rogers. I'd like to call my office in New York. All right, do you want to use the phone in Mr. Rogers' bedroom? Thanks. There it is over there. Does he take all these pills? Yes, he takes those capsules for diabetes. The rest of the medicines are for imaginary complaints. Hypochondriac, huh? Well, I want to call New York. Caledonia 9, 2133. Yeah, I'll hold a while.
Ellery Queen's office. Oh, hello, Ellery. How are you doing?
Well, I'm going to be up here for some time, Nicky. You may as well close up and go home.
Don't you need me up there?
Definitely no.
Why not? You know I could help you.
No, thanks. You'd never find the place anyway.
You did.
You're not to come up here, and that's final. I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, mastermind. Goodbye.
I beg your pardon. Also, Fifi is very sorry.
I'm sorry, too. I hope I didn't hurt Fifi.
Oh, no, it's all right. I'm looking for the office of a Mr. Alan Rogers.
Oh, well, you won't find him in this building. He retired from business about 6 months ago.
Oh, do you know where I can locate him?
Yes, I do. He lives at Fawn Lake.
Fawn Lake? Where is that?
Oh, it's about 40 miles from town.
Could you tell me how to get there? I'm a stranger here.
Well, if you'll come into the office, I'll look it up for you.
Merci beaucoup. You're very kind.
I'm Nicky Porter, Mr. Queen's assistant.
Je suis charmée. My name is Marie Dubois.
It's a pleasure. Won't you come in?
Merci. Come on. Now, Fifi, you sit here. Sit.
In here.
All right. Merci. What an interesting office. It's very unusual.
Ellery Queen's a very unusual man.
Who is this, Mr. Queen?
Novelist. Also, quite a detective. It's just by chance that I happen to know where Mr. Rogers lives. He sent for Mr. Queen this morning to have him investigate a very mysterious situation at his house.
Do you mean there is something wrong at his home?
Undoubtedly. Or he wouldn't have sent for Mr. Queen.
Oh, that concerns me greatly. You see, Mr. Rogers is my father.
Your father? And you're asking me where he lives?
I haven't seen him since I was a baby. I just arrived here from Papiti in the Tahitian island.
Why didn't he meet you at the boat?
He's not expecting me. I might never seen the notice myself, but a friend of Maman sent it to me months after it appeared.
Oh, this is thrilling. You must be dying to see him. You know what? I'll drive you to his place. The directions are awfully complicated, and naturally you haven't a car.
After what you told me, I'm not so certain I want to go there immediately.
You have nothing to fear with Ellery Queen there.
Maybe this will change your mind. Dear Madam, it is impossible for you to daughter of my client, Mr. Alan Rogers, who denies ever having known the woman you state your mother.
Mr. Rogers instructs me to advise you that he considers you an impostor and will not enter into any further correspondence with you, nor entertain any claim whatsoever that you may make on him. Very truly yours, L.C. Young, attorney at law.
But I'm not an impostor. I have my mother's marriage certificate, I have photographs, I have my birth certificates and letters to prove that I am his daughter.
Letters Mr. Rogers wrote to you?
No, letters he wrote to Maman years ago. Only I knew nothing of it until after her death.
Why would Mr. Rogers advertise for you? And then have his lawyer write this letter?
I've asked myself that question many times.
Perhaps Mr. Rogers doesn't know anything about it. Maybe it's a threat designed to frighten you from coming into this country.
It very nearly did.
Why don't you let me take the letter to Mr. Rogers and find out if it was written on his instructions? At the same time, I'll be able to find out why he called so urgently for the services of Mr. Queen.
Would you do that for me?
Oh, I'd be happy to.
I'm very fortunate in meeting you.
I don't believe you, Mr. Queen. If you just stopped in to say hello, why should it concern you who my house guests are?
As a matter of fact, Mr. Rogers, I asked Mr. Queen to come and see you.
Why?
Mr. Cole felt that you were being imposed upon.
He did. In the future, attend to your work and nothing else. And you, Mr. Queen, keep your inquisitive nose out of my house. When I need a detective, I'll engage one.
You say you don't need a detective, but obviously you're afraid of something.
That's this fool's idea. Probably gets it from reading your books. There's nothing mysterious about this place.
Then who shot at me as I was crossing the lake and why?
I don't know or care. Will you please leave this house before I have you put out?
Mr. Rogers, I caught this young woman snooping around the house.
Who are you and what do you want?
Papa! Papa! I am your daughter, Mary.
What makes you think you're my daughter?
Oh, these papers, these Letters you write, Mama. Your marriage certificates. The certificates of my birth, too. Oh, too, you will find a picture of me when I'm 6 months old. Would you have recognized me, Papa?
Well,
I would know you. Though you are more handsome now.
oh, well, that's very kind.
Ah, it is so very good to find you.
Well, it's nice to have you here, dear.
So many times I have needed you, Papa. Especially since Mama has passed away. Oh, is this my brother?
No, no, thank heaven he's not. Cole, see Mr. Queen to the door, please.
Yes, sir. Oh, well, excuse me. I was touched by the reunion with your daughter. Bonsoir, mademoiselle.
Charmé. A very, what you call him, a cute gentleman, n'est-ce pas?
Cute, he's a pain in the neck. Deborah, Miss Marie will stay here. See that everything possible is done to make her comfortable, please.
Yes, Mr. Rogers. Though I still wonder why you didn't come to the front door instead of trying to climb through. You are a darling, Papa, to want me to stay here. Yet I must return to my hotel tonight. You see, I have no clothes.
You shouldn't have gone to the hotel in the first place. I'll have your bill paid and your baggage sent here. By the way, what hotel are you staying at?
I forget.
What?
Oh, I am so stupid. I am foolish like a child. But I am so excited. New York is so big and so strange.
Don't worry, my dear. You'll recall the name later.
I make you so much trouble.
Not at all, dear. It's worth anything having you here. How'd you come into the country? On a visitor's permit?
No, on a ship.
No. I mean, how long is your passport good for?
Oh, I never asked.
Well, we'll straighten everything out in the morning. I want to take you to my attorney, and we can go to the immigration department from there.
Immigration department?
Yes, as my daughter, you're an American citizen. You can stay here forever.
Oh, I am an American. Oh, wonderful.
Now we'll go see her. Deborah has things straightened out.
Oh, yes, we...
Oh, Margot.
Yes, Father?
I have a very happy surprise for you. We found your sister Marie.
Oh,
Or rather, she found us.
sister. Ah, oui. But Mama has never told me I have one.
I didn't know myself until recently that I had a half-sister.
Well, you see, Marie, your mother was my second wife.
I understand, cher Papa. I am certain I shall adore my big sister.
Yes, I'm sure we shall get along wonderfully together.
Well, come on, let's have a drink to celebrate Marie's arrival. This is really a very happy reunion.
What? No butler?
Hey, Al, have these cooked. We eat them tonight.
Freshly killed ducks aren't fit to eat.
Kindly don't instruct us in the art of cuisine. Just have them cooked.
You want to have them plucked?
Look. Who's this?
Oh, pardon me. My dear, I want you to meet two old friends, Mr. Bates and Mr. Corday. This is my daughter, Marie.
Oh, Liz, is it?
I am enchantée to meet old friends of Papa.
Yeah, well, how do you happen to show up here just at this time?
Oh, I see the advertisement Papa has placed in the paper in Papiti.
Oh, Tahitian Islands, eh?
Oui.
We lived there for 10 years.
A very charming place, do you not think?
Pardon. Je n'ai pas dit l'oreille de Marie. Je n'ai pas voir encore, je le demande de silence.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Non, je n'ai pas dit fois pour encore, merci beaucoup.
My dear. Why, my dear. Marie, apparently you've never had a drink before.
That's unique for a girl from Tahiti.
Extraordinaire.
Sit down, my dear.
Oh, no, merci, cher Papa. It is not that. I am not good. I feel I am on the ship again. I think maybe I should lie down.
Margot, take her upstairs and look after her.
Yes, certainly. Come along, dear.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Au revoir, au revoir.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, bonsoir. Funny girl. I think she's an idiot.
I'll thank you to speak of my daughter with more respect.
We speak here as we wish, Rogers.
Excuse me, sir. What time shall I serve dinner?
When these are ready.
They won't be fit to eat.
They'll taste all right to us. You seem to forget the time we lived on seagulls and weeds.
Yeah, when you stole the schooner and marooned us on the Marquises.
I told you I didn't run out on you.
Oh, no. You only persuaded us to go ashore so a most regrettable squall could blow you and the ship away.
Yeah, now that a second dizzy dame shows up calling herself your daughter, I think it's high time that we really talk business, Rogers.
You are right, my friend. But we're not going to settle for the original amount. We want 2/3 of what you've made on the share of the cargo since you left us on the island.
That's impossible. 30,000 is all I can raise.
Impossible, eh? What did you do? Put most of your fortune in Margot's name?
Yeah, now he thinks he's going to transfer what's left to Marie, so the next time we talk to him, he'll be flat broke.
Oh, but there won't be no next time. This is your last chance, Rogers.
Well, by sacrificing a lot of securities, I might raise 50,000. But that's all I can do.
When do we get it?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Hey, where are you going?
Call my lawyer and tell him to make arrangements.
Come on, we'll supervise this call.
Ducky, Ducky. Here, Ducky. Come on. Come on, Ducky. Here, Ducky. Come on. Come, Ducky. Come, Ducky, Ducky. Come, Ducky. Come, Ducky, Ducky.
What happened? One of them wasn't dead, sir.
There he is.
Who? Ah, a duck. Did I hit it?
Yes.
Good. Cook it with the others.
I undress now if you give me a nightgown.
All right, come along, pick out what you want.
It was so funny. Perhaps I take a bath.
Good idea. Maybe it'll straighten you up. Oh, you've turned on the shower. Pull out the handle to fill the tub. A hot bath will make you feel better after your trip.
Yes, I love it. I would like to sleep in the tub all night.
Good night, sister dear.
Good night, sister dear. Give my love to Papa.
Don't be frightened, Nicky. It's Ellery. Please, Nicky, it's me. Put your clothes on and let me get out of here. My feet are jelly already.
What's happened?
It's, nothing, sister dear. The water, it's too hot. What's the idea of hiding in a ladies' bathroom?
Never mind about that, Frenchie. I'll ask the questions and you give the answers.
this silly boilerplate. Who told you about Roger's daughter, Marie, and who asked you to stick your nose in this case?
She asked me. I bumped into her in the hall. There she was, looking for her father. And, of course, I appreciate how she felt after all these years, so I said I'd drive her up here. But after I read the letter, I decided it was better not to. So I came up here to get the lay of the land myself.
What letter?
The one from the lawyer warning her not to come. Actually, she thought it might be dangerous for her to show up here at this time.
Oh, wait a minute. Did she ask you to impersonate her?
Why don't you listen? Of course she didn't. That was a sudden inspiration. I saw you getting the hot foot, and I put on the Marie X so one half of the firm could stay on the job.
What job? My services are poison around here, and I'm bowing out of the picture.
You mean you're leaving me out on a limb?
Yes.
Listen, do you know what he's going to do with me tomorrow?
Buy you a hope chest, I hope.
He's taking me to his lawyers and then to the immigration department to make me an American citizen.
Boy, I can just see them deporting you. Send me a postcard from Papiti, will you?
I'm getting out of here right now.
No, you don't. Rogers will have every cop in the state after you. You stick it out until I get the real Marie to relieve you, first thing in the morning.
Pleasant explained to Mr. Rogers that I'm not the daughter of Pop.
Yes, and I hope he spanks the daylights out of you.
I'm scared. I have a hunch something might happen.
Don't be frightened. Just tell me where the real Marie Dubois is living.
The Bentley Hotel, room 1511.
I'll pay her a visit the minute I get back to town.
You don't have to go right away, do you?
It'd be very embarrassing for Rogers to find me in here with his daughter.
The Bentley Hotel in New York. Yes.
King, and I think I'm on the ship again.
Well, you'll feel better when you've had your coffee.
Coffee? With an headache like this? Never. I must have tea.
Tea? Can't you get on without it? We should have been on our way a long time ago.
With an headache like this, I cannot stir a step without tea.
All right. Tea, Morton. And bring it as quickly as you can.
Yes.
There's at least start on that.
Oh, forgive me, Papa.
Hold that pose. There. That'll make a nice picture for the family album.
Will you need me for anything this morning, Mr. Rogers? Miss Margot and I were going to play some tennis.
No, go ahead.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Dad. Have a good time in town, too.
The person in New York is calling a Miss Nicky Porter. Wants her to call Caledonia 92133.
Miss Porter, I never heard of them. They got the wrong number.
I have, sir.
Well, then tell them again.
Very good.
Hurry up with your breakfast, Marie.
Oh, this is all I can eat. I go dress now, Papa.
So what about tea?
Oh, it does not matter. Operator, get me New York. Caledonia 92133. Hurry, please. Hello? Hello? Ellery? You double-crosser. What's the idea of calling for Nicky Porter here? And where's Marie? I've been stalling hours waiting for her.
I took it for granted she was out there because she's not at her hotel. Now, wait a minute, Nicky. Hold your horses. Certainly I've been trying to get her. I just came back from her hotel again. She hasn't been there all night. No. She hasn't checked out. Her trunks and bags are still there.
What am I going to do? Papa's waiting to yank me to his lawyers. Okay. I'll go like a lamb to the slaughter. But you stay in your office and I'll ditch him somehow and get in to see you. Oh, Missy. Yes, I called him today. I talked at the hotel.
Oh, you suddenly remembered the name of it.
Yes, Papa. The Bentley. I will be ready in 1 minute.
1 minute.
Mm-hmm. Well, it took a long time to find you, Miss Rogers, but I guess you're more welcome for that.
Sit down, Marie.
Cigarette?
Yeah.
Oh, Lester's more than my lawyer, Marie. He's a good friend.
That is nice.
Well, for a few moments, I'm going to be nothing but the lawyer. I don't know whether your father's told you or not, but he is transferring his entire estate to you and Margot.
Oh, merci beaucoup.
Now, if I may see the document that you are his daughter.
Certainement.
What is it, Lester?
I didn't write this letter. see it. It's not my stationery.
So that's why you didn't cable when you were...
I want to see for myself what my reception will be. I do not think you would advertise for me and then warn me not to come.
I'm glad you were clever enough to realize that.
Alan, you know that I had nothing whatever to do with that.
It certainly looks like your signature.
Mr. Young, if you were writing such a letter, you would be clever enough, I am sure, not to use your ordinary stationery, but to have some made for the occasion?
You'd better wait for me in the outer office, buddy.
Yes, ma'am.
Alan, I don't know what to say.
I know you didn't send this letter. It looks like the work of those two blackmailers. Let me have the money and I'll get rid of them for good.
Yes, of course. It is?
Thanks. But I won't need that.
Be sure they sign the release before you pay them.
I'll handle them. I wish you'd come to the house this evening. Come for dinner.
Oh, I'll be glad to.
I'll call for you in 2 hours. That should certainly give you time to pack.
2 hours will be fine. Au revoir, cher papa.
Au revoir.
His lawyer's coming to the house tonight to make me and Margot sign some legal papers. But it's Marie's money, and if I sign the papers, it makes me a crook and an embezzler. What am I going to do?
Oh, wait a minute now. Sit down and cool off.
How can I sit down? You got to find Marie, and you got to find her fast.
All right, hold everything. Now, begin at the beginning for us.
Can't I? Everything happens to me, and I'm always in the middle. But, Ellery, I did get a lead on that lawyer Young.
Yeah?
I plunked the threatening letter he wrote Marie right under his nose, and he swore he didn't write it. But he can't fool me, even if the letterhead is different. I'll bet he's the one that made Marie disappear. I'll bet you anything.
How could he when he didn't even know where she was?
Got something there.
Extra paper! Paper! Extra paper! Extra paper!
Wait here, Stevens. Yes, sir.
Extra paper! Paper! Extra paper! Paper, sir. Extra!
Come around tomorrow and I'll put a rosebud on it.
Please. It's the guy at the bar wants you.
Hey, Al, come over here. Don't forget, Jack, I'm next.
Right, Sean, Mr. Bates.
Corday's waiting for you in here. Right in here, Al.
Well, you are almost on time.
All right, gentlemen. Let's get this over with.
Let's forget the whole darn thing.
You mean it? I don't have to meet him at the hotel and go back with him?
No. Let Rogers call up the police and set a trace out for his missing daughter.
Oh.
They'll find her somehow, and you can hide out here.
I knew you'd see it my way eventually. Well, shall we get started on the next chapter of your book?
Good. Get your notebook.
Da, 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 da. Ellery,
What?
when Rogers called the police, they'll find me.
Well, why on earth should they?
Margot got my photograph with her blooming candid camera.
How could you be such a fool?
I couldn't help it. Go ahead. Call me names. If I hadn't poked my nose in this, none of this would have happened.
What a mess. Rogers gives your picture to the police, and Dad gives it to us with both barrels. You'll have to meet him at the hotel and go out there.
Oh, well, what about luggage?
Well, that's easy. Pick up a couple of your own bags and have some steamship labels pasted on. Come on, you've got to hurry.
Yeah, what about tonight when the lawyer comes?
Well, play sick, but don't sign anything.
Okay.
Now, chin up, sister. I'll get to Dad, and somehow, without giving you away, have him start the search for Marie Dubois.
I wish him luck. Hey,
What now?
how are you going to keep in touch with me? You can't phone.
Well, by carrier pigeon, I guess.
Oh, how about a kiss? Come on, a big smack. Oh, don't be so stingy.
Oh, hello, Mr. Queen. I'm sorry your dad's not in.
Please. Please. Oh, come on. Make up, will you?
Why, Sergeant Bailey.
Cute, ain't they? They're lovebirds.
Lovebirds? Well, why are they so mad at each other? I'll bet they're canaries.
Canaries?
I've been jipped. Now, wait, don't bother. Listen, I'm here to ask Dad to instigate a search for someone.
Friend of yours?
Well, not exactly. The daughter of a friend of mine. Will you make a note of it?
Sure.
Oh, and another thing. Don't let this get on the police blotter or in the papers. My friend asks it as a particular favor.
Oh, fussy, ain't he?
The name is Marie Dubois. And
Marie...
Dubois. Dubois.
Oh, yeah. Dubois.
And she disappeared from the Bentley Hotel last night.
That's the inspector. Get your hat, Belia. Oh, hello, son.
Hi, Dad.
We're going on a hurry call. You can tag along if you like. You may learn something.
Okay.
What's that? Well, that's my vitamin B1. I'll eat a lot of it. You'll need it. You don't have to take your hat off in here. What happened? Hey, what's going on? Tracy, Doc.
Hello. Nice seeing you. Long time worked this neighborhood, Inspector.
Yeah, who is he, Brody?
You mean who are they? They fell on top of one another. Slug apiece was all it took to finish him. 38 did the job. Come on, take a look.
Looks like murder and suicide, eh, Inspector?
That was my first impression, but there's no gun here.
What do you know about this, Ford?
There isn't much, Inspector. They're supposed to come from Singapore. Only been in this country a short time.
Well, who found him?
That sailor in the bar.
Well, get him in here. Hurry up.
Okay.
There's nothing I can add, Inspector. I'll have the bullets removed as soon as I get them over to the morgue and turn them over to ballistics.
This is him, Inspector.
Yeah. Come on in. What's your name, Jack?
Jack.
Jack, yes, but what's the rest of it?
Waterman.
Waterman, what's your occupation?
Artist.
Artist. Portrait painter or sculptor?
Nah, none of that. I'm a tattooed artist.
Oh, I see. Well, what were you looking for when you came into this room and so accidentally discovered these bodies?
Well, that guy down there wanted me to work on him, and I came in to see if he was ready.
Oh, friends of yours, eh?
Well, I know Corday, the Frenchman, quite well. I get a geisha girl in Shanghai and a clipper ship in Calcutta. And a mermaid in Bombay.
A what?
A mermaid in Bombay.
How about the other man?
He was just a prospective customer. I only met him today. Name was Bates. Told me he expected a lot of dough this afternoon and wanted me to do a big project on him.
Doe, eh? Who from? Can you tell me that?
Oh, sure. From the big shot with the briefcase, I guess.
Big shot.
Yeah, the chump. He came in when Bates was hanging around admiring my work. Then Bates brings him right in here.
Did Bates mention this other man's name?
Oh, yeah. He called him Al, and Al didn't like it.
See you later, Dad.
Well, then, what made you come into this room just when you did?
Well, after a while, the guy with the briefcase goes out. So I figured they'd throw, so I come in to tell Bates I'm ready for him.
And you found them both dead?
No. I found them counting all the money in the world. It was laying out on the table, and they were stacking it into 2 piles. They told me to scram, so I swam. After a few minutes, I come back, and there they were. Like they are now, and the money was gone.
Did you find any money on them, Forbes?
Only a few dollars, Inspector.
Well, then who came into this room between your visits?
Why, nobody.
And you didn't hear a shot?
No. Well, the jukebox was grinding, and there was a lot of jabber in the joint.
Forbes, take him and his outfit away. Get him out of here.
Come on. What does this mean, Admiral?
It means you're going on a little voyage, sailor.
Well, we certainly landed our man that time, Inspector. Short and snappy.
Stick him up.
Hey, wait just a minute, son. This is no time to play childish games.
What do you mean, games, Dad? This alley I'm standing in leads to the street. The killer came to this window and caught those 2 by surprise and got the gun on them. Then he ordered them to bring the money over here and pass it through.
Well, you don't think they'd hand it over that easily, do you?
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't I? Wouldn't anybody with a gun in their face?
But why would he kill him if they gave him the money?
Because they knew him, Mr. Veely. Reminds me, Dad, I've got to be running along, but don't let this case get you down. But remember...
Hey, wait a minute, son. What makes you think so?
Do you suppose he saw something in here that we missed?
Hey, Veely, I want you to go over to the Immigration Department right away and find out all you can about this Corday. Just when, where, and how he got into the United States.
Okay, Inspector.
Take the detour, Veely.
I'd like to see Mr. Rogers.
I'm sorry, sir, but you've been ordered off this estate.
That order will be revoked when you tell him I have a message from his friends, Bates and Corday.
May I speak with you, Mr. Rogers?
Oh, yes, Morton. What is it? Oh, all right. I'll see him. Excuse me.
Certainly.
What's this about? A message from me?
If you don't mind, we'd better go inside and talk.
All right. Come in.
Oh, bonsoir, mademoiselle. Ça va bien? It's grand. Bates and Corday have been murdered, and Dad will be here soon.
Oh, this is my sister, Margot.
How do you do?
Come into the study, Queen.
Excuse me.
Now, what's this about Bates and Corday? I settled everything with them this afternoon.
You mean you admit it?
Certainly.
That's fine. My dad's a police inspector. He'd be tickled to death to have you tell him all the details. You mind if I use the phone?
What on earth are you talking about?
Only that Bates and Corday will never spend the money you paid them. They were both found murdered in the back of that dive this afternoon.
Murder?
Mr. Rogers, you actually seem surprised.
Those are the facts, Mr. Queen. But you still don't seem to believe me.
I'm afraid your story won't sound very convincing to the police.
I have no reason to lie. I was glad to make that settlement with them. You know, they could have squeezed me for more.
No doubt. But what you paid them certainly was worth recovering after you got a release from them. That's what the police will accuse you of having done.
The money didn't mean that much to me. If I were greedy, I wouldn't be transferring all my resources to my daughters while I'm still alive.
Mr. Rogers, if you've given me all the facts, someone must have known of your plans and followed you there. I'm certain that no one hanging around that saloon killed them.
But no one knew what I was going to do except my attorney. Oh, but that's impossible. Young. I want you to meet Ellery Queen, the novelist.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Queen?
Why?
He's visiting me for a few days.
Good. You're a criminologist, too, aren't you?
According to my publisher's advertisements.
Well, it'd be a nice bit of deduction, Mr. Queen, if you could tell us who had the $50,000 now, wouldn't it?
Well, that shouldn't be too difficult, Mr. Young, considering you're the only one who knew that Rogers paid off today.
Lester, this has put us both in a tough spot.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Alan. According to the newspapers, the murders were committed at 20 minutes of 3.
That's right.
Let me see. Where was I at 20 minutes of 3? You know, Mr. Queen, a lawyer always has an alibi. Oh, hello, Margot.
Hello, Lester. How are you?
Fine. You.
Margot, where's your sister?
Oh, I don't know. I went up to my room to get a sweater, but instead I took a nap. Here I am, Papa. Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Dinner is served.
Shall we go in?
Yes, dear.
Why didn't you do as I told you?
I did, but somebody tried to drown me. I'm not letting go of this arm until you get me safely back in town.
What I want to tell you, Cole, is that during dinner, Marie Dubois told me confidentially that she was out on the lake in a canoe and a speedboat ran her down.
What on earth is she doing out in the lake after dark?
Well, don't ask me.
This deck's still wet. The boat must have been out.
Hey, look here. How long have these streaks of white paint been on this boat?
I don't know. They went on there this afternoon. Look, the white canoe's missing.
Get in. I'd like to take a run in this boat. As good a place as any to talk.
For certain reasons, Mr. Rogers has decided to divide his holdings between you now rather than let you wait until you would inherit them.
I think that's the loveliest thing I ever heard of anyone doing.
Just sign right there, Margot. You'd better read it first.
Whereas I, Margot Fawcett Rogers, affirming that this is my true name and that I am the daughter of Alan Rogers.
Of course I'll love and obey you, Father. I don't have to read any further.
Here is your copy, Miss Mary.
No. I do not understand these. I will not sign.
My dear, don't you understand? I'm giving you half of my money. It's the essence of the agreement.
I do not want your money, Papa. I did not come for these. I come because you are my father.
But your father wants to do this.
Did Papa write these papers?
Not exactly. I drew it up upon his instruction.
Ah, that is what I suspect. Write it in French, Mr. Lawyer, and then perhaps I sign it. If I like it.
Won't you take my word for it that everything is to your advantage?
I would take your word for anything, Papa. But I am not so sure about him. He writes me a letter warning me not to come to this country, and then he lies.
My dear, you mustn't say such things.
I say nothing what he writes. Good night, Papa.
Oh, wait, Lester. Excuse me, Margot.
So you insist that you're Marie Dubois Rogers?
Certainement.
Marie's upset. Please don't bother her tonight.
Oh, that's a little too much, Alan, even from you. She calls me a liar, insinuates I'm a crook, and now you say Marie's upset. Let's don't bother her. Oh, I'm going to have to bother her plenty. Alan, don't you see this is all an act? I'll tell you why you wouldn't sign that agreement. It was because you had to declare that your true name is Marie Dubois Rogers.
Now you're being absurd. I examined all Marie's papers of identification.
But you didn't examine her belongings.
Leave that alone. It's mine.
Marie alone, and let's go downstairs.
Did you bring this from Tahiti?
Oui, certainement.
And the clothes in it should be from Tahiti, too, shouldn't they? I guess I was wrong. Miss Rogers, you have my sincere apologies.
I accept your apologies, but please go now. You have exhausted me.
I don't feel like talking anymore tonight, Young, if you don't mind.
See you in the morning.
Who is it?
Ellery.
that young one?
He suspects me. He was up here to see if my clothes really came from Tahiti.
What happened?
Somebody switched the clothes. These aren't mine. They have Papiti labels in them.
These must be Marie's. Someone living here knows where Marie is.
Obviously.
You know, Nicky, there's sight of knowing that you're a phony, and the other, believing that you're real is trying to get you out of the way.
I know where Young stands. I'm still convinced he sent Marie that letter. And Margot seems on very friendly terms with him.
She's hiding something. She wouldn't have lied about taking a nap when you saw her sneaking down the back stairs.
Ellery, let's go and see what's down those back stairs.
I'll go. We can't be seen prowling around together. Lock this door. Who's out there carrying a tray? A what tray? What'd you do that for?
He was killing you.
Nonsense. I always get on the bottom in a rough and tumble fight.
Did you find out who was carrying the tray?
No.
Oh, I hope I didn't hurt him, Ellery.
Tell Mr. Rogers Inspector Queen is here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Must be having a party.
What'd you say?
Must be having a party. Everybody's in the kitchen. Where you go?
On an errand, sir. For Mr. Rogers.
Wait a minute. That's faster than you've ever gone on an errand. Get up out of there and get in the house.
Ellery, isn't that your father's car?
Yes, I believe it is. You better get up to your room and keep out of sight.
Are you Rogers?
No, my name is Young. I'm Mr. Rogers' attorney.
Hello, Dad.
Hello, Ellery. How did you get up here?
It's a long story, Mr. Veely.
Did you tell Mr. Rogers that I was here?
No, sir.
I caught him sneaking out the back door.
Well, who is this?
I'm a watchman.
Is that right?
Yes, that's what he was employed for.
You make a pretty thorough job of it.
Well, you can wait in the other room. We'll get to you later.
Okay.
Are you Rogers?
Oh, no, this is Mr. Cole, Dad. He's Mr. Rogers' secretary.
Mr. Rogers' attorney, Mr. Rogers' secretary, Mr. Rogers' watchman, Mr. Rogers' butler. Where's Rogers?
I believe he's gone to bed.
Well, go up and wake him up and tell him I'm here, and Billy, you go with him. Well, what made you run at the sight of a policeman?
Well, really, sir, it was nothing personal. The last time I gave evidence against an employer at a murder trial, I was 3 years finding a new post.
Well, what's the evidence you have now you're afraid to give against your present employer?
It's really nothing, sir. It was only the matter of the pistol. I found it in the master's overcoat pocket when he came back from the city today, and I put it in the drawer of his desk in the study.
Well, let's go into the study. Apparently, it's just been cleaned.
Mr. Queen, Mr. Rogers is dead.
Looks like he died from asphyxia caused by a poison.
Almocyanol, Dad. Causes immediate paralysis of the respiratory centers in the brain.
And that's it. I got it. After he paid off Bates and Corday, he held them up and killed them to get his money back. And when he saw you here, he knew I wouldn't be far behind, so he just got panicky and killed himself.
I'm afraid you're mistaken, Dad. This is not suicide. It's murder. I take it for granted you two found the body exactly as it is.
Except that I pulled the sheet over his head when I was sure that he was dead.
Now, this is your slant. Rogers came into the bedroom and got undressed. And he mixed himself that poison highball and drank it. Got into bed and carefully arranged the covers.
What's wrong with that?
Everything. Why would a suicide go to the trouble of getting undressed before taking poison?
Maybe he just wanted to be comfortable.
Mr. Bealey, Almocyanol hit you like this. If he drank it standing up, he might have fallen on the bed, but he'd never have time to tuck himself in.
Could he have taken it after he got into bed?
No. He'd never been able to put the glass on the table. It would have fallen from his hands. The point is, he didn't drink the poison.
Well, then how did he take it?
Mr. Cole, you notice anything missing from that bedstand?
Yes, the capsules of medicine Mr. Rogers took for diabetes.
I understand he never went to bed without taking one.
No, not to my knowledge.
He took one tonight, all right. Almocyanol had been substituted for the medicine.
Where are the rest of the capsules?
Down the drain, in the lake, I don't know. The murderer removed the capsules after Rogers was dead. Then he planted the glass with the poison in it.
That's it. It would take the capsule a minute to dissolve, which gave him time to get in bed and wait for the poison to take effect. Cole, you have everyone come down to the living room. Veely, you lock the door.
Right.
You drove Mr. Rogers and his daughter to New York today?
Yes, sir, I did.
Maid, go upstairs and tell Miss Rogers to come down here right away.
Yes, sir, but I've told her twice already.
Well, tell her 3 times and make it stick. Where did you drive them?
To Mr. Young's office and then to the Bentley Hotel.
To the Bentley.
Who sent for me?
Are you Marie Rogers?
Yes, Monsieur le Gendarme.
That girl's not my sister. I've never seen her before, and Marie's been here.
Monsieur le Commissaire, allow me to explain. You see,
I knew from the start you were an imposter.
Nicky, I mean, Marie.
Wait a minute, Ellery. Go on. But I didn't want to expose you until the right minute. Of course, I was the one who put Marie's clothes in your suitcase.
Why were you hiding Marie?
I believed you to be a pair of crooks and thought you might want to do away with her. Now I know you're merely a pair of lunatics.
Why weren't you worried about Margot?
Margot? Oh, why, she's as big phony as you are. Her name's Rogers, all right, but her father and mother are those acrobats.
I'll have this autograph for you.
Now I'm beginning to understand.
Dad, excuse me a minute, will you? Would you like this for your scrapbook? Go ahead, look at it.
Thank you. Where did you get this? I'll never forget the kindness of these people. They took care of me when I didn't know where my father was.
Nice going, Margot. But it won't take long to prove that those acrobats are your parents.
You don't think my father accepted me as his daughter without proof, do you?
Certainly not. But what I want to know is who forged that proof. And who sent the letter to Marie warning her to stay away. I know you're not in this alone.
Lester, I don't have to answer all these questions, do I?
Dad, she's up to her neck in this. You knew you couldn't put this over indefinitely, so you planned to kill Rogers from the start. That's why you scared Marie off, so she wouldn't share in the profits.
He killed my father?
Don't call him your father. The first idea was to murder Rogers and pin the job on Corday and Bates. But he arranged to pay them off before that could be accomplished. So you deemed it advisable to recover the money and plant it in Rogers' desk.
That was conviction and execution, practically a certainty.
Right. Then you believed you'd inherit his estate.
No.
But tonight, somebody became nervous and decided to put Rogers out of the way in a manner that looked like suicide to stop the investigation. And you know who did it.
I wish I did.
Dad, this young lady knows more than she's willing to admit. I suggest that you and I have a talk with her in the study.
Come right along, young lady.
Lester, won't you try to convince them this is senseless? I tell you, I had nothing to do with this. Absolutely nothing.
Make yourself comfortable.
Why did you bring me in here?
Seems like my son is trying to find out who put this idea into your head.
Dad, this is just a hunch. it was a smart trick to come to my office. You expected me to call the police and tell them how anxious you were to protect your boss. That's Mr. Cole's property, Dad.
Undercover partners, eh? I think you'll find that this is the gun that killed Bates and Corday. Billy, see that Miss Margot and Mr. Cole are comfortable in the car.
It'll be a pleasure, Inspector.
Why doesn't somebody turn on the lights? Somebody please turn on the lights.
I might have guessed it. Parlez-vous français?
Oui, oui.
You know what I ought to do with you?
Now, have a heart, Dad. If Nicky hadn't helped me out...
Monsieur le Préfet, please do not punish Miss Porter.
To what I've been through, I expect a bonus, not a beating.